What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of R6 Tips and Tricks. If you like this episode, make sure you go and check out the other ones because there are so many important tips that you can learn from them that will help you become a better player in Rainbow Six Siege. Now for this video, we're going to be talking about how to attack. Now the answer on how to attack in Rainbow Six Siege is, well, there is no one answer. You see, attacking depends on the map you're playing and the site you're attacking, and also how your opposing team likes to play. So we're going to talk about a couple things in this video, and we're just going to kind of skim over them. If you want more in-depth tutorials on certain maps, then let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can go about doing those. Now before you even think about attacking, you need to think about your role. Now there's many different roles, for example entry fraggers, support players, and you got to think about which one you are. For example, Thatcher is a great example of a support player. Now what the support player does, which I spoke about in another video of mine, how to win ranked games, the link will be in the description for that video, is Thatcher is designed to get rid of the enemy's utility, and he works alongside your hard breacher, aka Thermite, Hibana, Ace or Maverick, since Ace, by the time this video is up, the new season will almost be out. And his job is to literally take out the equipment to get that wall down. Now a support player at the beginning of the round should be droning in the entry fragger and support entry fragger. Now once they have droned them in successfully, they need to go and get their wall down, and once they've gotten that wall down, they can do whatever they want. So that is an example of a good role, aka support, which is a role my mate Birdie plays. We play a lot together. So he'd usually go support, aka Thatcher, and I'd usually go in as an entry fragger, especially since the rank we're playing at this season is quite a low rank, so I feel like I can successfully entry frag without being contested much. Now an example of a good entry fragger that everyone would use is Ash, but the person I actually like to play is Sophia, mainly because Ash has her breaching charges which allow her to take down 2 soft walls. However, Sophia also has 2 breaching charges, and she also has 2 stuns. I also like how Sophia has a very powerful assault rifle and it has an angled grip. Now angled grip is something I look for a lot because it makes your ADS speed super fast, and I really like that type of playstyle, and I think it suits an entry fragger very well. Now when you're picking your role, you're usually going to want to have roles in a 5-man or a 5-stack. However, I understand that a lot of you don't have a 5-stack, and if you don't, I'd recommend going into the R6 Discord, the official R6 Discord. I'll leave a link for that in the description as well. And they have a good looking for group section. Now another thing you could use is Moot, M-O-O-T, but I don't really like that because it takes ages to find groups and there's not enough active people on there to find a group quickly. But on the R6 Discord, you literally go into the looking for group, join a voice chat and say looking for group EU Silvers or EU Gold, EU Plats, whatever rank you are, and people instantly join. But maybe you just don't like playing with people, maybe you just want to solo, which these still help you. You just got to understand that some people in your team might want to play the same role as you, which isn't always a bad thing. For example, 2 supports, you're going to need 2 supports, aka Thatcher, Thermite, but your team's not going to cooperate well if you have a 5-stack of entry fraggers. So now that you've got your roles, let's talk about map control. So map control is a very important thing, but it also depends on how your enemy is set up. So usually with map control, you're going to want to take the room above site, especially if you are a soft breacher such as Buck or Sledge, as vertical gameplay is a very important aspect of Siege, or take the room next to it. Now a lot of what I usually do, especially at the ranks I'm at this season, the low ranks, I'd literally just rush to the room next to site, especially if it's a room with a window. So what I do is I drone the room out, and I get Birdie to drone it with me as I enter. And as I enter, I'd literally just pick people off if there's anyone there. If not, then that's great. I've got control of the room. I'd get my teammates to be like, yo, can we get in this room real quick? If we have a Monty, perfect. He can then push onto site. We can push with him, plant, and win the round. So it's very important to control those rooms. A lot of what people do as well, if you're entering the building, is enter from above and sweep your way down, or the reverse, which slightly gets me into my next thing, which is you've got to have a plan every time. So in ranked, there's usual sites that people go at the beginning of the game. So for example, if we took Bank as an example, it's very common for people to go lockers, aka bottom, and then they end up going top floor, and then it's usually on what people prefer at that point, but a lot of people go tellers, but open area is also an option. Let's look at a different map like Consulate. Again, you'd probably go Consulate bottom floor, garage, and then you would go top floor, and then unfortunately you would have to pick between lobby or the top bottom site, which I would definitely go with lobby because defending a top bottom site is not a good idea in my opinion. So now you know the usual bomb sites. If you're playing Bank, just think about they're going to be lockers. If they're not lockers, then fair play to them, they've thrown you off, and if they win that round, it's going to work in their favour because then they can defend a better site. But usually they're going to pick lockers first, so think about that. They're picking lockers. What are you going to do? Well, if you like playing Monty, you can pick Monty, go through tunnels. Something I like to do is play Capital or Sophia and go tunnels. And then I like to drone behind servers, in servers, and all around. Know where they are, I can smoke it, or we can get a thermite blower from the wall plant. There's a lot of different things you can do. But you want to have the plan before you even get into the game, if that makes sense. So you want to have a plan for every map and what you're going to do. I know that that's very confusing, and I'm not saying you have to do that beforehand. You don't need to, before you even load up Siege, think about every map, every site, and write it all down. No. What I'm saying is it comes with time. So when you play ranked enough, or when you play Siege enough, you're going to get into the habit of picking the same operators when they pick a certain site and doing the same thing. And if you let your team know that this is what you're going to be doing, then you can attack the site very efficiently. For example, what a lot of pro players do is they already know what they're going to do, obviously, because they've been practicing for so long. They all know what each individual player is going to do. But just before the round starts, they still go, okay, what's the plan? We're going to do this, we're going to go here. Thermite, you're going to blow open this statue, you're going to get rid of the bandits, whatever. And then they go over real quick, briefly, what they're going to be doing. One thing to watch out about when you're attacking is obviously roamers. Now, roaming is what I like to do on defense, probably because I am an entry fragger on attack, so I do like to run around, try and pick off those pesky attackers. Also, I do like to flank them a lot, that's why I like to roam. But obviously it depends on the map and what site and what players we have on our team. So roam clearing is especially important if you're planning to enter from the top and work your way down, because there's going to be roamers trying to clear you out. So a good way of roam clearing, in my opinion, is the obvious drone before you enter. That is the most important thing I can say. I've talked about it a lot in my How to Win Ranked games. You're going to want to drone everything. So drone 1 to 2 rooms ahead of you, maybe 3 if you think you have enough time. But just remember that if you drone too many rooms, a lot can change in the first room. So when you drop, there could be someone waiting for you. Now, a good way to do this without wasting time, because time will be something I talk about in a second, is set up your drones beforehand in spots that you know you're going to want to drone. For example, if I'm going for some crazy rush, which I can make a video about if you want me to. If you want me to make a video about how to rush successfully, let me know in the comments and I will definitely do that for you guys. I might ask Birdie to set up his drone right where I'm going to rush. For example, let's say we're playing Oregon Bottom, or they're playing Oregon Bottom, should I say. I would spawn construction site as maybe Ash or Sophia, and I would go to Birdie. Can you just quickly set up your drone at construction site? And as soon as the round starts, snap, I wanted to drone in while I'm running 2 tunnels to get into, or bunker, to get into the map itself. And I want him to call out everything he sees, everything he does, and I'd literally just rush and try and frag all the enemies. That could be a way of setting up your drones. Another way of setting up your drones is setting them up in sight, setting them up outside of sight, just to see where the roamers are. But just one to get you started with this, just set up your drone where you're going to enter. When I play Coastline, and they're going hooker, billiards, I always bring my drone to the balcony outside aquarium, because I know I'm going to try and enter from aquarium, and I know where people like to play in aquarium, especially since that's where I like to play preferably. There's usually someone behind the little couch area where the aquarium actually is. Sometimes that could be an ACOG, sometimes that could just be someone holding it. It's a good way to play because you can hold the entrance from the balcony, you can hold luggage, and you can also see where people vault down from the roof. So I know there could be an enemy there could be an enemy behind the bar, and I just put my drone in, drone through it, and if there's no one there, perfect. Bust down the door, get ready for people in billiards, see if anyone rotates from luggage. If we have a Monty could push through there. I wouldn't recommend that, if I'm honest. Monty's definitely better suited outside hooker, but that would be a way I would attack it. Now, the very last thing I just want to very quickly briefly talk about is time pressure. You have to drone efficiently, because droning is probably the main thing that you're going to get distracted by, or a roamer that you're trying to kill to make sure your team doesn't get killed if you're holding an angle on them. Now, a very good thing that people forget about when defending is time wasting. You want to waste the attacker's time as much as possible. So if you can roam effectively and get someone distracted on you and just literally keep them watching an angle on you forever, you've wasted their time a lot and they're not going to be able to attack the site efficiently. So a good way of time management is just to, obviously the main one, keep an eye on the clock. You can, count down like 1 minute, 1 minute 30, just say it to your team. But also you're going to want to drone quickly and efficiently, like I spoke about briefly earlier. So when you enter with your drone, you want to quickly face check, turn to the left, right, make sure no one's in the room, call it for your team, and you should be able to get to site in no time. Obviously you need to still be paying attention. You don't want to rush to site. You want to do it efficiently. There's a difference between rushing and doing it efficiently. But that's all I'm going to talk about for this video. If you want a part 2, I can make a part 2, or I can go more in depth on certain maps or strategies. Anything you have an idea about, leave in the comments and I can make that a video for you guys. But thank you very much for watching. I have a playlist of all my R6 tips and tricks, so you can check that out if you need more tips and you're trying to get better at Siege. But yeah, thank you so much. Leave a like, comment, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one.